Welcome, my 211 subscribers, everyone who hasn't given up on AEW yet, and all of you stupid, naive, silly little geese. Welcome to my review of AEW Rampage for the October 14th show. Let's begin. The show starts with a tag team match between the Blackpool Combat Club members, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, against the Butcher and the Blade. This was like the bog standard TV match where the heel team cuts the ring in half, they beat one guy up, he gets the hot tag, and then we get a pretty cool finish. There was like one spot before the finish where things got a bit interesting. It's when they did like a well-timed, the bunny rolling into the ring to stop Claudio. And this spot looked really good. Nice timing, it happened like clockwork. Bunny entered the ring at the right time, and Claudio stopped at the right time. They attempted to make the match as dramatic as they can, but with two teams just so different and so unbalanced in power, we know who was going to win. And yeah, Butcher and the Blade got showcased, and they managed to like stand toe to toe against like a former world champion and the current one. And as for the finish, they got a "This is awesome" chant like right before it. Because the Butcher and the Blade tried to do a tag team move on Moxley, but then Claudio like saves his life. He's like the third man in the middle, and then he catches Mox, places him down safely, like right beside the Butcher and the Blade, and then they have this stare down. They lariat them, they hit them with like stereo finishers, and Claudio gets the pin on the Butcher. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, average match. But it was pretty fun. They got a "This is awesome" chant before the finish. Number 2 spot is Bunny jumping in to save the Blade. And number 1 spot is the finish. So yeah, so after the match, Moxley taunts Page. He has Claudio like confirming all the taunting, and then it's over. So a really simple start. For me, it's not worthy for like 2 top acts in the company. But the match had nothing wrong with it. It was fine. It's like TV main event. A very inoffensive TV main event. So after this is a backstage interview with Swerve and Keith. And again, it's very inoffensive. It's just like starting to show the cracks in this team. Swerve is leaning heel while Keith is leaning face. Keith doesn't approve of the cheating, and yeah, I agree, but for different reasons. It's because Swerve is supposed to be stronger than fucking Billy Gunn, who's a lower mid-carder. But yeah, nothing special in the content of the promos. It's there to move the chains. It's the start of the breakup of the team, and we'll probably get the payoff at Full Gear or near Full Gear. But after this, the next segment is when things get a bit interesting, because it's the Dark Order. They contemplate about all of the losses they've suffered. And to add insult to injury, we have a match on Rampage next week with Roosh against Preston Vance. And it's like what was supposed to be the match between Andrade and Preston, but now with Roosh. I've been waiting for like the conclusion of this feud. Hopefully Preston Vance leaves the Dark Order since we get a return right after this. But yeah, they shoo away Jose the Assistant. They then like put their claws together, and then we have another hand reaching for the pile. And it's Stu fucking Grayson. One half of the Super Smash Bros. Is back. And real talk, the man should have never left the company. I mean, it was a bad career choice. Granted, they should have been featured more. But the man is a package deal with Evil Uno because they're like a natural tag team. That's how they got famous. That's why AEW signed them. And yeah, I mean, he's not like Alan Angels, who is doing like real good in the indies. I haven't seen Stu Grayson get booked anywhere like important or anything, especially not in Ric Flair's last match. So for me, I think dude shouldn't have left. The man was gonna get his TV time anyway, seeing how things turned out. And yeah, glad to see Stu back. Hopefully we get Super Smash Bros. Actually being in the tag team division and not be jobbers, because I honestly think they're going to get their asses handed to them by Ingobernables. And is going to be doing most of that ass kicking, as well as like the rest of the members. They're going to lose a lot, but we're going to love them anyway. The top team currently of Dark Order is Silver and Reynolds. So yeah, again, just like everything else in this show, time will tell what this will bring. But glad to see Stu back. He had no other option, honestly. But my problem with this segment is that they don't even mention it on commentary during Jericho's entrance after this. It's like nothing happened. Like, usually the commentators comment on like a return, on a segment, during the start of the next segment, and this is a bit of disrespect for Stu Grayson. You could have at least had Excalibur go, "Oh, he's back! Stu Grayson, the Super Smash Bros." Or just like put him over in any way. But instead, they move directly to the next segment without even acknowledging the last. But this next segment is segment of the night because it's Chris Jericho's sort of like victory lap from beating Bryan Danielson. And we also have Daniel Garcia's explanation for his actions on Wednesday night. And it looks like it's the end of the feud for now, or we're going to take a pause because BCC don't come out. And apparently the reason why Daniel Garcia turned on Danielson is the defeat in that tag team match against Sammy and Chris. So yeah, in my opinion, that reason is pretty weak. If he lost like 3 straight times or multiple times with the same result, that might be understandable. But this is just like a stupid, nothing reason that they'll probably reverse anyway in order to pay off the feud. But yeah, he's heel now and he still has a match against Lee Moriarty, or have we forgotten about that altogether? This feud just got shittier, or like it just died. But thankfully a new feud starts. By feud I mean just like until next week, until Jericho beats this dude. And it's Dalton Castle. Talk about sports entertainer. This faction should be recruiting this guy because like he just like looks sports entertainment. He acts sports entertainment. And he sounds sports entertainment. They should be all over this dude. The way he delivers this promo. Like I've heard him talk like normally. And he sounds completely different as his character. He becomes another person. He's more style over substance. But that style is like overpowering. Facial expressions, tone of voice, and intensity. While Chris Jericho's reply is all substance. Since Dalton Castle is the peacock, Chris Jericho's gonna pull out all his feathers after the match, and he probably will. But that's gonna be a really good match. And yeah, of course, segment of the night. It's nice to see Dalton Castle, and not in like a Ring of Honor role. For me, he should be on Dynamite because he's just that good. Such a great character, such a presence on screen, and you're gonna stick him in Ring of Honor? Maybe have a draft, maybe like shuffle it up, put some of the Dynamite regulars on there, but not Dalton Castle. Dude deserves a break, he deserves to be in AEW. So after this is the head-to-head video promo between Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida. And this is Toni Storm's strongest opponent so far. It's the best pushed opponent she has so far for the title. And it's pretty awesome because Shida has it all. She's like a complete package. Plus she can speak English better than any of the other Japanese talents in all companies. She just picks up real quick. And Toni Storm, really good promo, but meh in the ring. Shida's gonna hide all of those flaws, and we're gonna have an awesome match. The crowd, on the other hand, needs to be there. The match needs to be awesome from the start, so they should go for a show stealer like I say every week. No slowdowns, go for a show stealer because the crowd has a shorter attention leash during those matches. But yeah, this was an awesome promo. Shida spoke good English. She makes her case. And Toni Storm is just awesome on the mic. So yeah, nice segment. This should be on a pay-per-view, but we're probably gonna get Thunder Rosa against Toni Storm at Full Gear. So after this might be the best fucking storyline of the night, because Nyla Rose has lost her mind and has turned babyface in the process, because she stole Jade Cargill's title last time after the match against Willow. But yeah, Nyla has gone insane, Jade's pissed, but this might be the most charisma we've seen in a Jade Cargill feud out of either competitor. Last time was like Athena, but this is just like next level. This is the weirdest way to turn someone babyface. But I'll take it, it's a really funny storyline. Which should end with Jade taking the title somehow, but not beating Nyla. So she's facing Anna Jay, and she's having this delusion in her mind that this is a title match for the TBS title. Okay, so for the match itself, Anna Jay isn't the best in the ring, as seen in the match against Jade. But Nyla manages to ring general her way through the match, and her in-ring charisma is all there. Anna Jay still moves like a diva, but a lot better now. And it looks like she delivers her moves with a lot more bang, with a lot more confidence and attitude that comes with the gimmick. Vicky Guerrero and 2.0 do a good job outside the ring in their management, especially when Vicky Guerrero, being the cougar that she is, makes moves on Ange. Anna Jay gets a decent amount of offense. Nyla works her weight as usual, and Anna Jay takes advantage of when Nyla Rose fucks up. And I like that in like big versus small matches. And I love how they book Nyla strong, that after she takes a beating, she just power bombs Anna Jay and then ends the match. Bigger person can take more of a beating, while smaller person is a glass cannon. So yeah, great booking here. The finish is Anna Jay going for a diving attack. Nyla catches her, softens her up a little bit, and then delivers a powerbomb. Sit down for the win. As for spot of the match, I don't know. They didn't really do anything spectacular. Best spot might be the finish, but it's so basic and made for TV that it barely just makes it. Score of the match is TV undercard, and I think the post-match was a lot better. I guess their thing is mocking Jade Cargill now, which is genius. The whole thing is getting very corny, and people are getting sick of Jade. So yeah, why not turn one of your strongest female wrestlers into a babyface by making fun of like one of the cringiest acts, but improving in the company. And then we have an awesome confrontation. It's an awesome non-confrontation between Jade and this faction we have in the ring, because shit, Jade and the baddies come out, and then we have security stopping them. And this is so stupid because Jade has every right to go in that ring and take back her title. And these four fucking dumbasses just stand there and they get their asses kicked. Jade bro kicks the one small dude, and I love the way he sells this because he just gets launched to the floor real hard. She forearms the two women and then the other dude, and is distracted so much that it allows Nyla Rose, Vicky Guerrero, and Marina Shafir to escape right behind her. This was so funny. Nyla Rose, Marina Shafir, and Vicky Guerrero were the best performers of the night. This is what we need in wrestling. And that is how you build Jade Cargill. Awesome job. Can't wait for the match with her and Nyla. But seriously, it has to end with a non-finish. It just has to. This whole thing just revived Nyla Rose's whole AEW run. And this just makes Jade Cargill so much over. But the match has to be good and not have a decisive finish. But Jade somehow gets the belt. So yeah, match was alright, but that post-match segment was fucking amazing. Okay, so after this is the setup for the Arya Davari versus Hook match next week. And this is the coldest storyline of the entire night. It's the absolute opposite of what we just had with Jade and Nyla. It's a throwaway storyline. Arya Davari tries to buy the FTW title off of Hook. And if you're gonna buy a title, why that one? I guess it gives it like a $50,000 value from less. But you could try for like a more prestigious belt. Like for example, the All-Atlantic Championship is now in the possession of Orange Cassidy. And you know who one of his best friends are? Danhausen. And he will do anything for money. So why not offer $50K or more for the fucking All-Atlantic Championship, and Danhausen will just give it away. Missed opportunity, and not excited for this feud at all. So after this, without any entrances, we have Ethan Page versus Isaiah Cassidy. And I guess with the length of the match, this one takes the place of every other squash match. Yes, this was pretty much a squash, Isaiah Cassidy managed to do a couple of stuff. He sold very well for Ethan Page, who is the moneymaker, higher potential guy. But this takes away the momentum off of Private Party. I thought they were going to have a resurgence, but instead they're going to join the firm along with Matt Hardy. This is a very weird direction to take this whole storyline, but it is the more interesting one. Because if they get free from their contract, they're just going to be jobbers again. And if they're connected to the firm, like I said in my previous review, we can have a thing where Matt Hardy and Private Party can destroy the firm from within. And who knows, team up with a babyface MJF, but again, who knows what'll happen. I'm more interested in this storyline right now than in that alternate dimension scenario. So yeah, TV undercard only, even if moves they did were awesome, it was just too short. I thought it would be more substantial, but yeah. Okay, so after this is a promo where the best friends challenge Death Triangle for the trios titles. And they better not win because Pac just lost the title. And you can't have dual champions all the time. They have to defend those titles successfully. Because what the fuck are they gonna do if they don't? And plus, at the end of the road, when the Elite come back, the better match is Death Triangle versus the Elite. But yeah, this was pretty funny. I love how in the last part, Orange didn't know that Dynamite was on Tuesday this week. And real talk, this is gonna affect the ratings, I think. We're gonna get guaranteed less than 1 million viewers next week. They're gonna move it because of, I don't know, sports, MLB and the NHL. Yeah, the NHL, I understand. It's real fun. But baseball? Seriously? But yeah, good job in reminding everyone that Dynamite is gonna be on Tuesday. Nice touch there by Orange Cassidy, and yeah, this was an alright promo. Pretty funny, but fucking best friends better not win those belts. Spread the belts out, for fuck's sake. So after this is the pre-main event promo between the Pinnacle, Shawn Spears and Top Guys FTR, against the Embassy with Brian Cage, Prince Nana, Khan, and Toa Leona. And they do an okay job. I don't like how Shawn Spears buries Brian Cage by calling him a charisma vacuum and then proceeding to prove how charismatic he is, how much better he is at talking. And you could really see the difference, or you could hear the difference between Brian Cage's promo and Shawn Spears's. And from this point on, before watching the match, before knowing the result, I think Cage should pin Shawn Spears, because if he doesn't, if Embassy lose, this is slowly burying them. You have a team here that looks the part, but they don't sound the part yet, and you're sort of clipping off the wings. You're strangling them in the crib. Brian Cage's promo is almost on the same level as Cash Wheeler's here. Pretty monotonous. Intense but monotonous. While Shawn Spears just takes over everything. So yeah, for me this is a mistake. And I would be alright if either wins if they didn't do this shit. So it looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event. And for the first time, we don't get another promo segment after this. They actually give the match some more time. I think this is the first show I've reviewed that there has been no awkward promo segment right after the main event Mark Henry interview. And that's plus points. So I guess WWE let go of the copyright for the gimmick of the Perfect 10 because Ty Dillinger is back, full with the gimmick except the name. It's not the same though with that generic fucking music. They should play more hype music because the Ty Dillinger theme was just main event quality. And this one, it's nothing. I could hear nothing playing in the background. So the match starts with Shawn Spears and Brian Cage with 13 minutes left. They managed to keep them away, surprisingly, because Cage immediately tags out to Bishop Khan. And we see Shawn Spears becoming babyface Ty Dillinger again. He just does the whole 10 thing. And Coincidentally, they do this whole promotional thing of all of the matches for next week while Shawn Spears is in the ring. And they feature the Preston Vance versus Roosh match. And it just confirms that Roosh is gonna win even more because you can't have two 10s on the roster. Shawn Spears has the 10 gimmick now, and it just won't make sense if you have Preston Vance having it as well. And it's about fucking time to have Preston Vance be his own dude. But yeah, it's pretty surprising how dominant Shawn Spears is at the start. I thought he was gonna be this dude who takes the pins, but he actually does pretty well. And thankfully, the Embassy gets some shine as well, with a spot of the match candidate, which is like a double powerbomb to the apron. And this just pisses off Dax. He brings out a chair, making the Embassy look strong a little bit because he needs a chair to scare them off or like even the odds. And then after this, we get Shawn Spears with the role that I completely predicted. He's the guy to get beaten up by the Embassy. He gets some shots off, but Cage just dominates him. Heels cut the ring in half. They mock him, and Bishop Khan hits him with another spot of the match candidate, which is a sidewalk slam to the metal connections of the top turnbuckle, followed by a senton to the fucking apron by Toa. And then followed up by this superplex from the apron by Brian Cage. They beat the living shit out of him. And after 6 minutes of being in the ring, he finally counters like an F5 attempt by Brian Cage. But then I love how the heels just stop him from making that hot tag, extending the torture even more by just a little bit. They do a nice interruption where Bishop Khan stands like in front of Shawn Spears, like blocking his path, taunting his teammates. And then we get like this dive sort of tag spot where Spears dives and Bishop Khan tries to dive after him, but he makes the tag to Dax. Dax gets the hot tag, but he gets cut off by Brian Cage. I know they're triple tag team champions, but if you're facing off against the top guy of the faction, or like just a dude who's as big as Brian Cage, that should go out of the window. He should be able to kick your ass even if you have 4 belts. So Spears goes for the save. He gets F5 for his troubles, but then FTR puts the legal man, Brian Cage, and Bishop Khan in like sharpshooters. Shawn Spears gets Prince Nana, who's trying to like interfere, in like a sharpshooter as well. So we have a triple sharpshooter in the ring in Canada. This gets like the loudest pop of the night. But then I sort of love the booking of Toa Liona, because if not, he would be too overpowered. It's that he's like very strong. He's like a very tough wrestler to beat. But the problem with him is that he's kind of dumb. He's kind of dumb and a bit uncontrollable, easy to exploit. And that's how FTR handles him. He saves his team from like the triple sharpshooter, but he takes himself out actually twice. But the latter one is when he crashes into the turnbuckle. So as for the finish, so again, Toa Liona takes himself out. Shawn Spears DDTs Brian Cage out the ring. Bishop Khan goes for a dirty pin, but Cash breaks it up. They have this confrontation. FTR hit Khan with like a heart attack but with a clothesline to pop the Canadian crowd even more, and then they tag in Shawn Spears, who delivers a C4 for the win, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, great match, but I think this win should not have come at the Embassy's expense. I mean, it's an improvement to not being on TV for this whole faction, but you gotta book Brian Cage stronger. And I understand that they pinned the weakest guy of the team and that they just barely came out with this win, but the match is pretty short. And I think they should have taken out Brian Cage the same way, or like in the same stratosphere as how they handled Toa Liona. So yeah, hopefully Brian Cage doesn't leave. Great performance from him, from everyone in the match. Top 3 spots are double powerbomb on the apron, the annihilation of Shawn Spears by the whole Embassy at the corner as they're trying to cut the ring in half, And number 1 is the triple sharpshooter, which of course it is. So yeah, this match is TV main event, pay-per-view undercard quality. And yeah, this was the best match of the night. So I guess that ends the feud. Hopefully now they can build the Embassy up. They can build Brian Cage up. And for fuck's sake, do not drive him away from the company, because he's pretty over right now. So yeah, the Pinnacle celebrate, and then we get a debut from the current Impact Tag Team Champions, who I think dropped the belt in the latest tapings of Impact. The Kingdom. Maria Kanellis, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven. And I don't like this move. I'm gonna mention it in the Impact review as well, but I don't like this fucking move because you didn't need the Kingdom. Like, you have so many teams in AEW, just like Private Party, who can go for the belts. And Impact needed this team more, like for me. And they won their match at Bound for Glory. What a dick move from AEW. And Frankie Kazarian is the TNT champion. He's the next contender for Josh Alexander's belt. And then this is how you fucking repay them. They let your lower mid-card guy feature in like top feuds, and then you sign their tag team champs. What a fucking dick move. I thought they were going to be allowed to work in Impact while they're here, because the ROH deal is nowhere in sight yet. But they're probably just going to lose to FTR, and then we're not going to see them for like months until the TV deal is done. So yeah, this is a mind-boggling signing from Tony Khan. It's an awesome addition to the tag team division, but it's just going to affect everyone's TV time. And again, I think this is a bad move, and it might end the same way as CM Punk, or like something closer. You might lose one of your top potential teams to Stamford, Connecticut. And people are just going to wonder why Kenny Omega is in the show, even if he's suspended. Because Matt Taven shares a striking resemblance to Kenny Omega. They look so much alike. But yeah, despite this stupid signing, Maria Kanellis cuts a hell of a promo, and then the show ends with the Embassy and the Kingdom teaming up. Which doesn't make sense even more. But hopefully this will get him a win. Oh yeah, and Wardlow show up. Never mind. Just some more people for Wardlow and Samoa Joe to destroy. And yeah, that was Rampage. The babyfaces end up standing tall after 2 cheat codes scare off 5 dudes. Yeah, way to make Brian Cage look even weaker, as well as the Embassy and your newly debuted Kingdom. So yeah, this show was... this show was like pretty average. We had some good segments, especially Dalton Castle and the Nyla Rose one, but the matches weren't very good. They were just like alright TV quality matches. Except the main event. The main event was awesome. So yeah, just solely because of the 10 versus Roosh match, I will watch Rampage next week. As well as the encounter between Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill. That's what's keeping me on Rampage. As for the Wardlow versus Embassy versus Pinnacle storyline, I don't know about that. It's getting convoluted and dumb. But their match here was pretty cool, so yeah. Now for the thumbnail of this video, I don't know. No one that over is in the show in a substantial manner. And if it's just Jericho, it's going to be too predictable and vanilla. So maybe I'm going to make Dalton Castle the thumbnail. Or the triple sharpshooter, who knows. But yeah, stay tuned for the Impact review. Stay tuned for a DDT review that I'm going to do, or a Tokyo Joshi Pro one. We'll see what happens. Like, comment, and subscribe for engagement. Share if you do not know me. Hit that bell notification for future videos, and please, watch my shit.